Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. It's the Lord's Day, October the 24th, 2021. And I want to give a shout out to my grandson Sutton, who is 2 today, and also to my big brother Dan, who is 60, 60 years. How in the world did that happen? So happy birthday to those two, born on the same day, though several years apart. October has been designated by the powers that be, and I'm not ever sure who these powers are, as Pastor Appreciation Month. And I sure am grateful for the many ways that people have shown appreciation to their pastors. On the other hand, I would like to take just a moment and express appreciation for all of those people who attend church regularly and who volunteer their time and also exert themselves in other ways, as well as those who are paid to be on staff of the church, that they are the ones who make things go. Now, let's face it, pastors get a lot of recognition because we're up in front of folks. But I want to designate this month also as Congregation Appreciation Month, because those of us who are pastors wouldn't be doing what we're doing if there weren't people to serve and to minister to and to preach to. And I think about all kinds of folks. Someone that came to mind this morning was Howard Wagemaker. Howard and Pearl Wagemaker came from upstate New York. Howard had been a farmer outside of Rochester, or as he used to say, Rochester. After retiring in the 1960s, Howard was born in the year 1900, and I used to tell him I could keep up with his age that way. He and his wife migrated to western North Carolina and settled in Hazelwood. And they were such a wonderful and fine couple, so humble, and they served the Lord so graciously. Howard was such an example to me growing up. He made a little wooden cart, and he would roll that cart over to the church, and with a hoe, he would edge all of the sidewalks by hand. I can picture him now out there doing that in his 80s. I would help him as I had the chance, but otherwise would see him oftentimes out there doing things in the church, not because anybody asked him to, and not because he ever got any compensation for it, simply because he loved the church. I remember him telling me how that he was raised in a Dutch Reformed church there in the upstate of New York, and how in the years before World War I, it was commonplace for the elders all to sit together at the front of the church. Well, his father, in reading his Bible, came under conviction that there was not really a precedent for the elders sitting together like that, and his dad thought it would be better if he sat with his family. So one Sunday morning, when the elders came in after having prayed for the congregation, he peeled off from the procession and sat with his family. That caused quite a stir in the church. But you know, by the next Sunday, all the other elders sat with their families too. Howard also told me that once a month they would have worship services in Dutch, and he said he didn't know Dutch. And so rather than sitting through a worship service that he couldn't understand, he would go to the Methodist church next door. I loved Howard and Pearl Wagemaker, and I miss them still. And I think about a whole host of others who have been fine examples to me through the years. In the first church that I pastored, I think about Ralph and Jessie Guin. Ralph Guin had been in a terrible car crash in the 1950s, and as a result, the only way he could walk was to use a very uncomfortable, in fact painful, steel brace on his leg. But it didn't keep him from struggling to get up in the choir loft every Sunday. And he would sing. And I can still see him standing there on the platform near me on the pulpit in that old painful steel brace, singing Amazing Grace with tears streaming down his face. I think about folks like that. So I just want to say today, or otherwise give a shout out to all of those who have been faithful members of congregations down through the ages. You have sat by while pastors have gotten the limelight, but you are the ones who have made it possible for people like me to do what we do. And I think of Revelation chapter 7, verse 15. Therefore they are before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he who sits on the throne will shelter them with his presence. May God bless you as you think about that.